Hello, my son. Hello, my daughter. Sit down for a moment and listen quietly with your heart, because I want to speak about something that touches the most delicate parts of the soul. I know every thought you have, even those you try to keep hidden. I see your eyes when they drift into memories you'd rather forget. I hear your silences, those moments when you don't have the strength to speak because you feel you have failed too much. Now, I come to you with tenderness and determination to remind you of something the world tends to forget, but that remains unchanged in heaven. I still love you and have not given up on you. Have you noticed how life sometimes has moments where everything seems to break inside, even though things look the same outwardly? You wake with the burden of something unresolved, carry painful memories, and answer everyone with a smile while your soul weeps inside. Sometimes you think you have moved on, but then a smell, a song, or a random phrase in the day brings it all rushing back as if it never left. In the middle of these emotions, you wonder if it will ever be possible to feel light again. Listen carefully now. There is a path to lightness, a path to healing, and I am that path. I did not come to condemn but to restore those who are lost, hurting, and broken. You do not need to hide your faults from me. I am the only one who sees everything and still welcomes you. You may have spoken wrongly, made bad decisions, hurt others, or even hurt yourself trying to do right, but none of that makes me give up on you. I am the one who came down to earth, touched lepers, sat with sinners, looked into the eyes of the accused woman and said, "Where are your accusers? I do not condemn you." That is who I am, to welcome those rejected by all, lift up those whom everyone has let fall, and heal those whom no one else cares to heal. Today I reach out that same hand to you, not to judge, but to lift you up. How many times have you pushed yourself too hard? How often have you thought, "I shouldn't have done that"? Sometimes you look at yourself with shame for things only you know, shadows in your quiet moments. But do you think I did not know that when I called you? Do you believe I loved you only because you would always do right? I knew you before your first mistake and loved you at your first fault. I chose you knowing you might fall along the way. What draws me is not perfection but a genuine heart. There is great beauty in recognizing your own weaknesses. The prodigal son returned home only after making many mistakes, and still, the father ran to meet him. The father did not wait for explanations or justifications. He simply embraced him. That is the truth. When you come to me sincerely, I do not count your errors. I celebrate your return, clothe your soul anew, put a ring on your finger, and make a celebration in heaven for you. That is my nature. A God of new beginnings who loves again, calls again, transforms again. What pains many hearts is not the mistake itself but the guilt that follows. It is the feeling of being undeserving, the thought, "I messed up. Now God will not listen to me." I tell you, silence those voices. They do not come from me. I am not an accuser. I am a forgiver. The cross was not a symbol of condemnation but of love. Every drop of blood shed reminds you that your past does not define your future. Your failures do not cancel my promises, and your wounds do not block my healing. As it is written, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." I care not about your spiritual resume but about your broken heart. That is where real transformation begins. It is not about pretending everything is fine but coming to me as you are so I can touch and heal the parts that need it most. I do not want you disguised. I want you authentic. When you open your heart, even with fear and shame, I come with compassion. I cleanse what is stained, mend what is broken, and calm the troubled soul. I know there are moments you wish you could change, conversations to avoid, and decisions you regret. But time cannot be undone. The heart can be renewed. I am an expert in healing hearts. I am the potter. When a vessel breaks, I do not discard it. I gather the pieces, nurture them with living water, and shape them again. When you come back to me even broken, I do not give up. I start anew with greater beauty, maturity, and essence, because pain has helped you grow, and your return has brought understanding. Today, I want you to know that you do not need to pay for what I have already forgiven, nor carry a burden I have lifted. You do not have to live in fear. I am your safe place, your Father, your refuge in stormy times. When you come to me with repentance, the heavens open. Sincere repentance is like a rare fragrance that reaches my heart, and my forgiveness falls like gentle rain on dry ground, making what seemed dead bloom again. There is one more thing to hear deeply and let grow like a seed in fertile soil. Just as I forgive without limits or conditions, I also teach you to forgive others. I give you not only freedom from your own condemnation but the power to release others from their chains. Holding on to grudges builds invisible walls inside you, surrounding you with bitterness as if to protect yourself from pain. But those walls become prisons, chains woven from unspoken words, unhealed feelings, and repeated thorny thoughts. Even when you try to move on or say it is over, the pain remains. It hurts when names are spoken and burns when memories arise. I know this because I live within you and feel alongside you. I hear your silent moments and see the spaces you try to conceal, even from yourself. Sometimes those who have caused you pain move on, unaware of the impact they left behind, but you find yourself still carrying what could have been released into my care. This does not mean you are weak, but rather that you are human. It hurts because it was unfair, because words linger and gestures can wound long after they occur. Forgiving is never simple. It is not an instant or cold decision, but a process, a choice renewed each day. I do not ask you to forgive simply for the sake of the other person. I ask you to do it for yourself. When resentment imprisons another in your mind, you become trapped there with them. Waiting for human justice to soothe your heart leaves you weary, and as the days pass, the wound refuses to heal. There are pains that only heal when you let them go, and there are chains that break only when you decide to release them. Forgiving does not mean that what happened was right. It means you refuse to let that moment define you. To let go is not to lose, but to gain freedom. When you give yourself to me, you find rest, for I judge with fairness, and I can handle the burdens you cannot. I know how to defend your name, restore your honor, and even turn your pain into a story that helps others. As it was written, vengeance is mine to repay. Let me carry what you cannot hold. Allow me to be your shield, so you may walk freely, unburdened by yesterday. For I have a new path for you, a path that cannot begin until you release the old. If you have been betrayed or let down in times of greatest need, remember that even my son, the perfect Lamb, experienced betrayal from one who was close, not a stranger. Sometimes pain comes from those we trust most. Still, he responded with love, not bitterness, and moved forward. If you felt abandoned, recall the night in Gethsemane, when he too was left alone. If you were rejected, remember he was turned away by his own, yet remained steadfast. True love is not dependent on the response of others. It flows from knowing who you are. I can teach you to love again, not with naivety, but with discernment and healthy boundaries. You were not made to remain bitter, distrustful, or alone. You were meant for love, connection, and whole relationships. The peace I give does not depend on external circumstances. It shelters your mind and heart, even when memories are painful. This peace makes space for you to smile, trust, and dream again, for healing is already unfolding within you. Your healing begins with courage, the resolve to say, "I surrender, I forgive, I begin anew." These words reveal a heart still alive, open and ready for what comes next. Take a breath now. Exhale as if releasing old burdens. Remember, you are not alone. I have been here all along, never absent, steady through it all. With open arms I receive you, for I am the God of returns, of new chances, of restoring embraces. A fresh chapter waits for you. A chapter where pain is healed, resentment gives way to wisdom, and former tears become streams of comfort for those in need. Nothing you have suffered is wasted. Even your tears have value. No matter how long you wandered or how far you fell or what others have said, what changes everything is your choice to return. Whoever returns to me is never the same. They rise to a better place. You are not defined by what others have called you, nor are you shaped by their actions. You are who I say you are, loved, chosen, restored. In the presence of those who criticized you, you will be lifted up. For those who saw you fall, you will be raised, because I turn mourning to dancing, shame to honor, and loss to testimony. Just as Joseph in Egypt rose from rejection and prison to honor, so too will you, for I remain faithful to my word. No error in your past outweighs my love. No failing is greater than my loyalty. Today we begin a new page together, not based on the past but on what you are yet to become. This new page is marked not by ordinary words, but by grace, new beginnings, healing, inspiration, and courage. True renewal does not wait for perfect circumstances. It starts when you choose to believe again, even in small, tentative steps. Place your hand in mine. I will guide you, for I am the way, and in me is abundant life. Amen.